Hi, I'm Al. In a previous video, I talked about the three things you have to prove in your VA disability claim. The second of those things is you have to prove that you experienced an injury or an illness in your service, or an aggravation of a previous injury or illness. In this video, I want to expand on that a little bit and talk about what the evidence will look like to prove that. Once again, medical records are the go-to record here. If you can show that you were treated at a military hospital, or really any hospital, while you were in the service for a specific injury or illness, that's probably all you're going to need. But you probably didn't always go to sick call. I remember what it was like. Suck it up and drive on. The result is that now when you need those records, they may well not exist, but not all is lost. So to prove this element, you can also submit a lay statement, which is a written statement from you that describes in as much detail as possible what happened, when it happened, just all of the facts and circumstances around it. Also, it needs to talk about your symptoms, and you really got to go into detail here. Talk about the pain, lack of mobility you experienced when the thing happened, and how that tracked over time. It's very important to talk through the consistency of those symptoms in this statement. This is not the time to be tough. I'm certainly not asking you to lie or embellish, but you need to be accurate. The VA needs to know exactly what this thing feels like, exactly what your symptoms are. You should also try to get statements from other veterans, folks that witnessed the event happened. If it's a mental health issue, you can get statements from friends and family who knew you before the incident happened and afterwards, and can describe a change in your personality, or a change in your mood, change in your temper, how you responded to stress. Like, all of those things are important and they help. You should also try to get your medical records. We already talked about medical records. You should also try to get your service records. So here I'm talking about anything that that can help corroborate an injury or an illness. Things like orders proving that you were on a deployment. There's usually lots of paperwork to show you were on a deployment. If it's a jump injury, get your jump log. All sorts of things like that. Now, another thing to keep in mind when proving that you had an in-service injury or illness is your entrance physical. So if you recall, when you went to MEPS before you joined the military and you took that physical, the folks that gave you that physical were supposed to document, make a note of anything that you had at that time that was pre-existing. So if they didn't mark something and you have that something now, then the VA is obligated to assume that you were in a sound condition when you joined. Now, there's an exception to that. If the VA can show in your medical records clear and unmistakable evidence that you had a pre-existing injury, they can get around this presumption of soundness. But for the most part, if it's not in your entrance examination, then you're usually good to go in terms of proving that you didn't have it when you joined, put it that way. But even if you do have some pre-existing condition, not all is lost, because remember, it's not just about experiencing an injury or an illness in service. It can also be about aggravating a pre-existing injury or illness. So again, all the same things help establish that. Your statement from friends and family, and so on. So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. If you're struggling with the VA and would like some help, give me an email, a call, a text, whatever works for you. I'll see if I can help you out. Links to contact me are in the description below this video.